man. When the Lord deems fit for us to get out of here, for America to be destroyed, for the so-called white man to be judged, man. All right, and only the Heavenly Father knows that date. All right, but up in Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 35. I'm gonna start at Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right, and that's talking about the so-called white man. All right, that's who destroyed us by the force of the sword. The sword just being, you know, a metaphor for any weapon, man, whether it be a gun, an actual sword, a bomb, you know, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? All the weapon, everything that the so-called white man has weaponized against the Israelites, all right, the Most High is keeping what you call tabs on that, man. All right? And he continued with that perpetual hatred. And the so-called white man, Esau, he shows that perpetual hatred all the time, man. All right? Why do you think you're being systematically oppressed, man? All right, why do you think you can be gunned down in the street and nobody cares, man? They gun you down in the street, show you on video that they gunned you down in the street, and then the dude, you know, gets off, whether it be a male cop, a male Edomite cop, or a female Edomite cop, they get off, man. That's that perpetual hatred, man. All right? They have a perpetual hatred for the Israelites, all right? And that goes back even to, you know, our forefather Jacob, you know, and the Edomites' forefather Esau in the womb, all right? They were fighting in the womb. The Most High made it where it's always going to be a division and a hatred amongst the Edomites and the Israelites. And the Edomites show it every day. Every day you wake up, Esau is trying to find a way to destroy you. They show it every day. You know what I'm saying? But the Israelites would rather, you know, try to join hands and have a, you know, what am I trying to say? Join hands and try to have a certain level of camaraderie, all right, with the Edomites. You know, love wins. You know all the sayings that niggas got. Love wins. You know, love your enemy. Because, you know, Jake always try to quote the Bible even though they don't understand it. You got to love your enemy. You know, and all this shit, man. But the so-called white man hates you, man. And once again, he shows that he hates you every day. And that's the perpetual hatred that's being that's being spoke on in Ezekiel 35. That perpetual hatred, man. They hate you, man. They hate you, man. Whether you want to really, you got Jake that go to work. You may go to work, you know, your job amongst so-called white people, and you got a couple white friends at the job, and you go out, have a drink, man. In the back of their mind, they hate you, man. They can't control it. Because Yahweh Shai made it that way. He made it where they can't do anything but hate. The same way that Esau can't do anything but wickedness is the same way that he can't do anything but hate the Israelites. The Most High, those are our enemies, man. All right? That's even a commandment, man. We're not supposed to seek no peace from our enemies, but that's all Jake do. Try to seek some peace from Esau. All right? Try to, be hand in hand with the so-called white man. You know what I mean? That's all they do, but that perpetual hatred burns in Esau. And that's why he tries to destroy, not tries to destroy you, but he destroys you. With the exception of those who believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right? He destroys you at every turn, man. Because he has a perpetual hatred for you. But the Most High is going to punish, all right, the Most High, who you people call God, who is Yahweh, he's going to punish the so-called white man Esau, all right, for that perpetual hatred, for, you know, furthering the affliction, as the scriptures say, all right? It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Now, who's the most bloodthirsty? You know, it's just a process of elimination. Who's the most bloodthirsty people on the planet? The so-called white man. Especially when it comes to a Negro, a Latino, a Native American, or a Seminole Indian. He thirsts for your blood, man. When you look at the number, and when I do the post-production, I'm gonna throw some things in there, but look at the number of Native Americans that was, you know, slaughtered, man. You know, the number of so-called Negroes, the Latinos, it's in the hundreds of millions, man. That's real bloodthirst. And the Most High says, since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. So the same way that the so-called white man shed our blood, we gonna shed his blood, man. And these words, a lot of the time, it rub people the wrong way. But these are the scriptures, man. This is the same Bible that your fake ass pastor is reading in the church. He omitting shit though. He not gonna read everything that's in it. The Most High says, since the so-called white man has not hated blood, blood is gonna pursue thee. Meaning all the treachery, all the atrocities that you committed against us, we committed against y'all, but it's not gonna be an atrocity because it's gonna be righteous revenge. Same way y'all hung us on trees, we gonna hang y'all on trees. Same way that y'all took our woman, we gonna take your woman, man. So-called white woman love the damn Israelite man anyway. Alright? Or the scriptures say that our hearts shall meditate terror. Alright? If you wanna you know, ever see somebody's heart meditate, your heart being your mind meditating terror, read the Willie Lynch letter. That's a motherfucker's heart meditating terror. That shit that Willie Lynch was saying in that letter was to terrorize and destroy a nation of people because of the, you know, the slave uprisings, you know, of the, you know, quote unquote Haitians, the Levites. All right. He came with a plan to destroy us, not only physically but mentally, man, for years, man. But the funny thing about the Willie Lynch letter is it said the only way for this, you know, curse or whatever to be broken is if it's some form of divine intervention. The divine intervention is right in front of you right now. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai coming back into the Israelites, man. Israelite men. The hopeful elect standing and speaking. All right, that's the divine intervention, man. You know what I'm saying? But going back to the scriptures, the Most High said, since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. All right? And that's the so-called white man's worst fear, man. It's quote-unquote black, Latino, Native American retribution, man. That's his fear. That's his fear that he has to pay for that shit, man. Because when you really get into it and you break down these scriptures, they can't say anything, man. What are they going to say? What can a so-called white man say about the atrocities that's been committed against our people? Honestly, he can shake it off and say, well, that was a long time ago, which is a bullshit excuse. He can say, well, that wasn't me, which is a bullshit excuse. But how can he really explain or defend himself, man? He can't, because he's guilty. All right? This is Shalaki. I'm going to hop to verse 10. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. All right? That's what they said, that these two countries and these two nations will be mine. Now, who is the two countries and the two nations that's being spoke of? All right? The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right? The northern kingdom, which consists of you Negroes, you so-called West Indians, and you so-called Haitians, and the southern kingdom, which consists of those who are from Latino descent, man, whether you be a Cuban, a Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, Mexican, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, in post-production, I'm gonna put some, you know, some things up, but those are the two nations that the so-called white man conquered and felt like they are his, man. All right? Those are those two nations, man. All right? the so-called blacks and the Latinos.